this? What's going on here?
Silent Hill is a classic and a staple that psychological horror games follow and aspire to this very day. The tale of Harry Mason looking for his daughter Cheryl in the misty town of Silent Hill really still leaves its mark. Atmosphere. The atmosphere of this game is balanced between an especially disjointed dream and a violent nightmare. The game dulls your senses by introducing a thick fog that surrounds the town, making wandering through Silent Hill an eerie experience. On top of that, the only way to detect monsters in the fog is with the radio that emits a strange static when the monsters are in proximity. Hearing the radio alerts you to a monster, but finding it before it finds you in the fog is intense. The aesthetic of this game is just surreal. The set pieces in the game are incredible. The crying in the school toilet that only happens once to give you the impression that someone's in there in the darkness. The ghost kids that register as enemies but don't hurt you, and the change between Otherworld is still bewildering. And with the fog substituted for darkness and the floor for metal grating, the music and sometimes the strange unnatural dialogue, the atmosphere of Silent Hill is absolutely unforgettable. That's one James Sunderland. Scares. Silent Hill's strange nature often catches you off guard, entering a room to hear the radio but unable to find the monster until it attacks you from behind or staggers into flashlight range never stops being scary. The game's atmosphere is so perfect that even events that you see coming a mile off still manage to get you. Overall, I feel Silent Hill isn't a very scary game on purpose, but its rich atmosphere makes it so. When you're walking through the darkness with the controller pulsing, letting you know that Harry's health is low, the radio starts playing that familiar static. There's nothing quite like that. There's two James Sunderlands. Sound design. Eerie ambient drones, industrial noise tracks, studding drums. The soundtrack of this game is a masterpiece in its own right. It's terrifying just to listen to. Its moods range from serene to oppressive, throw the atmosphere into overdrive. Even the lack of music in the game makes the lonely town of Silent Hill even more barren. The sound effects in the game sometimes low quality, which yet again creeps the player out. The way the footsteps echo in the buildings give you a feeling of isolation in this bizarre world. That's three James Sunderlands. Gore. This game can be disgusting in places. Bodies and blood are placed in areas, corpses wrapped in bandages, body bags laying about town. Gore is more of a static thing in this game. It's all around you, but it's not an active part of the gameplay, making it again part of the atmosphere. It's done well when placed into ordinary areas, changing the feel of said area and certainly adds to the game. That's four James Sunderlands. Story. The story can be confusing, but essentially Harry Mason arrives in the town of Silent Hill when his car crashes and his daughter is missing. He ventures into the town to find her. Whilst looking for her, he meets a police officer, Sybil, at the start of the game and is left to find his daughter in this town slowly enveloped by darkness. The plot gets more complex as the cult and their beliefs get involved. It's a very disturbing tale that culminates in multiple endings based on your actions. Harry Mason's adventure in Silent Hill is one of the best in the series, and the descending spiral is the cherry on the cake that is Silent Hill, making the final score 5 out of 5 James Sunderlands. The game may be dated, but it still has what it needs to make an impact. It still holds up today, and if you feel like exploring Silent Hill, this is a very good starting point. Again, I'd like to remind you this whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games, and if you don't share this opinion, then that's cool. I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I did feel intensely worn out after beating this game, I did not scream like a banshee or run away from the computer, and I advise you don't either. There will be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. Always go check out Bumps in the Middle of the Night. Happy Halloween.